and welcome back to Raise Vibrations Tarot. This is going to be all about the eclipse portal that is happening from August 12th to August 28th, 2026. However, if you're watching this at a future date and it's a different eclipse portal, I believe this is going to be just as relevant because I am going to be giving general eclipse knowledge, and then I'm going to go into how to give it personal meaning, and then towards the end of the video there will be a collective reading, and that collective reading will be on the portal that was from August 12th to the 28th specifically. So let's talk eclipses. So, what is an eclipse portal? An eclipse portal, also known as eclipse season, is a period of time between a solar eclipse and a lunar eclipse that happens around every 6 months. And this one is happening from August 12th to August 28th because there was a solar eclipse in Leo on the 12th and a lunar eclipse in Pisces on the 28th. And so this is going to be a period of time where a lot of shifts and changes are happening, and these changes are fated. Sometimes they're going to feel dramatic, but think like Wheel of Fortune energy. This is all stuff that needs to happen. Sometimes it's not like a specific thing that actually happens, but it's something that you're becoming aware of, and it's something that's coming to light. Something might be taken out of your life, something might be brought into it. You might just be getting a lot of clarity on a subject, but regardless of what it is something that is important. So with Wheel of Fortune energy, we think of that as the lesson is that the universe is in control and has your best interest in mind. And so keeping that in mind, with eclipses, you're not supposed to manifest. So definitely take a break from manifesting, from planting seeds of intention. And this doesn't mean that like you don't have goals that you're working towards. It's just don't do any magic around those goals, and maybe just try to take the back seat and just let things happen and flow with that energy. So that's kind of like the biggest thing you're being invited into, is really just to pay attention to what's going on around you versus you trying to force and control things that are happening. Now, this is a period of time where you are in a very liminal space, so this whole period of time really can feel disorienting, and you might start to feel that a few days before the solar eclipse, or maybe a few days after the lunar eclipse as well. Some people say you can even feel it weeks before and after. I think it's really just dependent on the person and dependent of the specific eclipse that you're in, and kind of like the scale of the lessons you're learning and the things that are happening. Also, that being said, this eclipse is building on the last eclipse. So eclipses kind of come in like series of them. And so this is building off of a series that started in 2024. So don't feel like you have to go back and think of the lessons that you've been learning in all of these different eclipses, but I do think it's helpful to at least think back to the last eclipse that happened February 17th to March 3rd, and think about the lessons that you were learning then, because this one is certainly building off of those lessons. Think about any lessons you may have learned in the previous eclipse season and try to broaden them to a larger theme. That's how I figured out what my eclipse lesson is of this current eclipse, because I definitely had mine figured out from the last one, and this eclipse season for me is feeling less dramatic and less kind of like straightforward. So I was struggling to figure out what my lesson is, right? But I really looked back and dug into my last eclipse, and that one was very specific for me, But I took that theme and broadened it and thought, okay, what is something that I'm dealing with now that has to do with the last one? And so for me, it was energetic exchange. And I obviously, eclipses are different for everyone, right? Like, it's your personal journey. We're not going to be learning the exact same lesson. It's just not, everyone on the planet's not going to be learning the same lesson. Our lives are very different. That being said, I am a huge believer in collective energy. Obviously, I've been doing collective readings, and I want you to consider the theme of energetic exchange. And that is honestly because I did a collective reading last week for eclipse season for the collective, and it was smack in the middle of eclipse season. And the cards I pulled were all about energetic exchange, and I was like, oh, this is very similar to my journey. And so I guess maybe we're all experiencing something along the lines of energetic exchange as our lesson. And so I'm going to go a little bit deeper into that now. So, as I said, the theme I'm inviting you to ponder is energetic reciprocity. And so when I did my week ahead reading for this middle of eclipse season, I got the Six of Pentacles reversed, which Six of Pentacles is the card of energetic reciprocity, and reversed signals an imbalance in that. And I pulled King of Wands and Queen of Wands as the energy we're being invited to step into. And so for this, I really am highlighting taking power over your energy and just taking that, just taking that power back, taking that energy back to yourself. If you're putting in more energy into something than you're receiving, it's not going to feel good. And so I'll also invite you to take some energetic inventory to see how this is resonating for you. Think about your interactions, and this can either be with people or things. So, I mean, broadly, we can think of friends, family, work, etc. And think about how you feel when you are interacting with those people or things. So, even if you're not fully aware of it in the moment, think about how you're feeling after. Are you feeling anxious, tired, sad, uneasy after interacting with these things? Then there's likely an energetic imbalance, right? It's not really a you problem, most likely. It's a problem with, I mean, it could be both of you, but it's just the way you're interacting. Like, you're not filling each other's cup equally. Your cup is being drained, and we hate to see it. So think about that. And if something really comes to mind as I'm saying this, consider drawing back your energy. And I know that that's easier said than done, especially depending on the situation. So if this is something that doesn't really feel attainable to you, try pulling some cards on it. Just asking, how can I safely pull my energy back? If other questions arise, like, you get an answer and then you're like, oh, but what if I hurt their feelings? Pull some cards on that. Literally just like have a conversation with your deck. That's a lot of times the best readings that I have is when I'm going back and forth with my deck. Now, if you're just feeling lost because you're like, I have no idea what would be energetically imbalanced, just ask your cards that. Ask, what energy is not balanced right now? Am I putting out more energy than I'm receiving? Just ask your deck. If that's really not resonating, either before or after you ask that question, you can just simply ask, what is my lesson for this eclipse portal? And just see what it brings you. Let's get into the reading. So I have been doing collective readings every Sunday for the week ahead. And so I am posting this on a Sunday. This is going to be a week ahead reading, but it's going to be combined with the ending of eclipse season specifically, because that is what I'm going to be tapping into. I really resonate with eclipse seasons, and so I think it's just really important that we center that right now. So this is going to be for the week ahead, August 23rd through Saturday, which is the 29th, I believe, because Friday is the lunar eclipse in Pisces, which is the 28th. So gonna do a little bit of a different spread just because we're talking about eclipse season, but it's still gonna be pretty similar. So we're going to start with what should we keep in mind for the remainder of eclipse season. Page of Cups reversed. Then we're going to get a clarifier for that. The Magician reversed. Okay. These cards also look very similar to each other. Also just gorgeous. This is the Soul Tarot deck by Lindsay Mack, and it's becoming a favorite. No surprise there. And let's do how to best flow with this energy. Seven of Wands. Interesting. So starting off with our Page of Cups reversed, what to keep in mind for the remainder of eclipse season. I am taking this as a reminder to keep it light, keep it playful. We are all beginners at something, and honestly, I think that really ties in to the Magician as well. The pages are all about learning, and the Magician is the first card in the majors. And so I think this is calling out that this is a new journey for us. Like, it is not an easy thing to manage your energy, and it's not an easy thing to set boundaries and stand up for yourself. And so especially if this is something that is a new realization for you or newer in any sense, it's not going to be easy. There's going to be a lot of, what's the word? Resistance. There's going to be a lot of resistance to this. And so just take it easy on yourself. And I would say with the Magician as well, like, don't feel like everything has to be perfect in order to make a move. So you don't need to have the odds and ends all figured out. The Magician works with what they have, and they just do it, and they don't think about it too much. Obviously, we got to think about it a little bit, but like, don't feel like you can't do what you want to do because it's new to you. Obviously, it's going to feel scary, but if you have the inkling that something isn't right for you and you need to act on it, then you need to do that. And it's going to be scary, and that's okay. And I think the Seven of Wands actually really speaks on that, because the Seven of Wands is all about hypervigilance, right? And so wands are energy, passion, fire. And so we are feeling hypervigilant about our energy, and maybe we're feeling overprotective of it. And that's part of what comes with the Seven of Wands. And I don't think it's, like I say, overprotective, but not without reason, right? It makes sense that we're feeling protective over our energy. And especially when you learn something, like when something comes to light that you didn't realize until recently, and you're like, oh my God, this has been going on for so long and I'm just realizing it. It's not going to feel good. And so, of course, you're going to be having all this like heat and protective feelings over it, and that's totally fine. And so I think just because it's saying Seven of Wands is how to best flow with the energy, I think the best way to flow with the energy is awareness over that, right? And so I mean, I said don't think about it too much with the Page of Cups and the Magician, but it's a fine line, right? It's a fine line between not being too rash and also not just like constantly overthinking it and mulling it over, right? So I mean, this is something I struggle with myself, so I'm trying to give advice on it, and I'm like, what would I do? Don't do that. The bottom line is give yourself grace. Give yourself grace, stand up for yourself, and everything's gonna be okay. And you know what? I just want to pull one more card. Oh, 3. The Chariot, the Tower reversed, and 8 of Pentacles reversed. Yeah. So I think definitely don't think about it too hard. This is obviously big energy. Something's coming to light, something might be removed, you're breaking out of your chariot, and it's going to be a long journey, and that's just the way the cookie crumbles. But the cool thing about collective energy is that clearly I'm speaking to not just you. So this is something we're all going through, and we can feel a lot more alone than we really are, you know? Like, I feel alone all the time, and I'm clearly just not. So neither are you, and I think it would be good to talk to someone that you trust about this. It's heavy stuff. And like I said, this is nothing to be scared of. It doesn't necessarily mean that like an event is happening. It just means that you're noticing something. So this could have been something that's been going on your whole life even, and you're just seeing it in a different light. So don't be scared. Don't be too hyper vigilant, and break out of that chariot, and it's gonna be great. Okay, I am going to leave now because it's like 10:30. Yeah, it's like 10:30. I have been so busy recently, and I'm tired, so talking about taking my energy back, I am gonna go to bed. Good night, and I hope you have a good rest of your week, and really just take it easy on yourself. Take it easy on yourself this eclipse season, and take care. Bye.